The Fast and the Furious franchise. Very rarely has there ever been a roller coaster for me of a franchise like Fast and Furious. I am one of the people that did not like the first few installments. I was really angry at the first one because it was just a blatant, absolutely bold-faced ripoff of the Keanu Reeves film Point Break.
Directed by Catherine Bigelow.
Directed by Catherine Bigelow. Amazing film, but it is a plot point by plot point. Like, you could almost put the two movies and overlap them on a screen, and they're just going to play out the same way. And that's always bothered me. And I wasn't big on 2, and I wasn't big on 3. So I never really liked the franchise. But then something weird happened, like somewhere around 4. I remember I went to go see number 4 and expecting to hate it. But I came out and went, you know what? That wasn't half bad. That wasn't half bad. And then 5 blew
the Citizen
doors off.
Kane of the
Citizen
Fast and Furious franchise.
Of car race
But
movies.
you really need to see The Drift.
Oh, dude, that's always
Just
pretty
call it
good.
The Drift.
I'm good.
So
But I mean,
good.
5, 6,
good.
7, I loved. I even really liked 8. I thought 8 was the weakest of 4 through 8, but I still really liked 8. So, started low, then the roller coaster went up. Woo, but then the drop came with 9 and 10. Horrible.
Well,
Right?
unwatchable.
Borderline unwatchable.
Yeah.
So
Painful to watch.
they've been promising us Fast 11 or Fast 10 Part 2. One of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. Fast 10 Part 2. Yeah, Fast 11. Anyway. So they've been talking about giving us Fast 11, but there has been drama. But maybe, according to an executive at Universal, there may finally be some light at the end of the tunnel. The folks over at Coming Soon write this. According to the latest update from the Wall Street Journal, Fast 11 doesn't have an approved script yet, while most of the cast don't have deals to star in the film yet.
Great start.
This largely seems because of the budget concerns, as the article states that Universal executives have told the filmmakers that they will not make another sequel unless it costs around $200 million. Of course, I think the last one cost about 350 or something like that. Anyway, that way it could earn a healthy profit even if it grosses less than Fast 10. Studios typically look for a film to gross 3 times its budget to earn a targeted return on investment. Well, things might be looking up. While there's been no official news regarding if Fast Furious 11 is moving forward at this time, Vin Diesel posted some photos and a video of himself and Michael Moses, the chief marketing officer for Universal Pictures, on Instagram. One of the photos sees Diesel wearing a top that says Fast X Part 2 Los Angeles Production 2025, while other pictures sitting in a screening room. And there you can see the picture of Vin Diesel and the CMO of Universal Studios. I'm not quite sure which one is which. But apparently in this
I'm not
collection...
even sure what they're doing.
I wonder if his bag will go viral.
Yeah, that is definitely going to go viral. So, this is the thing. In a separate post, Diesel also shared a picture of himself and Tyrese Gibson. Nobody really cares about that.
Cold. Cold-blooded.
And it also says that Moses, the CMO, made the comment, "We've got it figured out." We've got it figured out. Now, we still have to get...
With that
we've
bag,
got
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Moses, the CMO of Universal, not Vin Diesel, not Tyrese Gibson, not somebody else involved with the movie, the chief marketing officer of Universal, who is not the guy that greenlights movies. So that's interesting. But anyway, he said, we've got it solved. Now we just got to make it happen. That's good to say. But Rob, recently you guys know, I've been openly questioning whether this movie's actually even going to happen now, right? Like 9 and 10 were disasters. Not necessarily financial disasters, although 10 hit them. 10 hit them. But I mean, they were absolutely terrible movies. The return had been dropping. Fewer people were starting to go to the movies now. The costs had spiraled way out of control. And this movie Fast 11 was already supposed to be in theaters this year. And they don't even have a script right now. They haven't even got a cast right now.
Not so fast as we were led to believe.
Not as fast or furious.
Well, maybe they're
might have
furious.
you believe. Yeah, a lot of fury. So I have started to honestly, openly wonder if this is even going to happen. Because, look, Father Time is undefeated. Vin's getting older, as all people do. And I think each year that passes, I think interest in the Fast and Furious franchise is waning. Don't get me wrong. As much as I hated 9 and 10, I will still be there opening day for Fast 11. I absolutely will. But, I mean, the clock is ticking. It's running out. Then that Wall Street Journal report came out. It sounded terrible. But Rob, having not just somebody from the movie, an executive of the studio come out and say, I think we got it solved. Like, I think we found what our basic mechanic is going to be. No pun intended. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Zapier. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools to put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier comes in. Zapier is the easiest way to take AI and plug it directly into the apps and processes that you're already using every day. No IT bottlenecks, no complexity, just results. For me, it's been about saving time on repetitive stuff so I can focus on the work that matters and I actually enjoy. And it's not just me. Over 3.4 million companies are already using Zapier to streamline everything from sales and marketing to IT and HR. With their AI orchestration platform, you can connect top AI models like ChatGPT or Claude right into the apps you already use. So whether it's automatically enriching leads, coaching your sales team, or even resolving IT tickets, Zapier makes it simple. Guys, join the 3.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/Campea. That's zapier.com/Campea. So, I don't know, Rob, you hear this. Does this give you hope that this movie's actually going to happen? And if so, are people going to be there to see it? What do you think?
Look, you know, I love this franchise. Loved is the key word
Loved,
there.
past tense. Yeah.
And again, I'm a huge fan of The Drift, not just because Nikki Griffin is in it. By the way, they have to bring her character back in the final film, but that's just me. You know, it's frustrating, John, because this is an absurd franchise. As somebody who loves it,
absolutely, it's absurd.
It's absurd.
100%,
It's one of the most absurd.
And we wouldn't want it any other way.
No, but the thing is, the absurdity should have stayed on the level of Fast 5.
Yeah,
which
I
was
agree.
Amazing. But the issue is, you know, when you make movies that are successful, everybody gets paid more and more and more. That's just how it works. So the budget of this film is probably close to being untenable. Now that they've said, if you bring it down to just a measly $200 million, then maybe we'll make it. It's absurd to think that that's where it is. But you know what? I think the world needs this movie. I think the world needs Fast 11. They need to bring it back down to earth. They need to set it. One of the great things about, I mean, I did like the first Fast and Furious movie because what I really liked about it was it dealt with these various subcultures in LA. You know, LA, for those of you who don't live here, you've got Koreatown, you've got all the different, you've got Little Saigon, you've got things, the city's broken into these. And I thought the movie did a really good job of showing these really cool. There's people that love cars. There's people that love motorcycles. And it really was a celebration of LA culture in a way. And that was part of the DNA of the film. And then, of course, they moved it out of LA. The second movie goes to Florida. But that's fine, too, because then you had, and I think those subcultures are as much a part of the movies, at least in the beginning. And I thought the idea, they talked about bringing it back to LA and setting it back on the streets of LA and celebrating the vibrant cultures of Los Angeles. That to me is a great idea. You know, I think it's a great idea, and it doesn't have to be expensive. And I think to myself, why don't they do that? I mean, the reason that 9 and 10 are so ridiculous is they become these globe-trotting, like you're watching giant balls roll down streets in Rome and all this crazy. Like, what is that? I mean, you're watching the John Cena going. He's going down like on some rail. What is it called when you're riding those things down this corridors of another city? Like, what is this?
That's called awesome, Rob.
It is not
It's
awesome.
called awesome.
It is not awesome. I want to see hot Asian girls fixing cars, knowing how to fix big engines on the streets of LA while Bad Bunny's music is pounding in the soundtrack, and you have a celebration of all the great culture in Los Angeles and watching cars going way too fast down the streets of downtown LA across that new bridge.
It is
That's
kind
all
of
I want.
stunning. But I mean, an argument can be made because look, I am with you philosophically. When you look at the first Fast and Furious movie, as much as a ripoff of Point Break, it's
That was at the beach.
a bunch of
This was inland.
what used to be called back in the day grease monkeys, people
Yeah.
fixing cars, who also on the side would pull some little like I correct me if I'm wrong, weren't they heisting DVD players?
Yes.
DVD
From
players,
trucks.
right? So
In a very complicated fashion.
you've gone from the first movie, which is a celebration of street culture,
Yeah.
car culture, and a little bit of a minor mystery with a heist element to it as well. They have now come to the point where, for no reason, Dom is considered like James Bond would be his bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Like Dom is the most dominant, feared international man of intrigue and mystery in the world. And they are taking cars now into outer space.
Literally. And not a good car,
No.
Fiero.
And they're fighting submarines in the Arctic Cap. And I agree that it would feel nice if they brought it back a little bit. Rob, couldn't an argument be made is that there is no coming back at this point? Like at this point, they've made it so utterly ridiculous.
Just say, oh, that was a dream.
It was all
No.
a dream.
No, you know what they do? Torn from the headlines.
Oh.
Los Angeles is now besieged by thousands of ICE troops that have come, and you have all the different ethnicities who've had people incarcerated, all their parents, grandparents, people that immigrated here 50 years ago. And you know what? You have families from all of these different disparate ethnic minorities or ethnic
lots
groups.
of families.
So all
All
the families of LA led, I mean, come on, this would be awesome. And you have all the cars and all the motorcycles and every single gang that still exists teaming up.
And they all drag
And-
race to see who wins.
No. You have this ultimate heist where
Winner take
people have to
all.
rip off from all the different ice and dude, it writes itself. And you can you imagine at the end you have this massive like going right down the middle of Los Angeles. You have like hundreds of cars that represent all the ethnicities of all, and then you have people from all over the world that have snuck over the border with their cars and their motorcycles and their
It almost sounds like
ultralight
Fast and
jets.
Furious meets Ready Player One.
And then
Dude,
they all
I'm
assemble to make one mecha.
Yes,
that's like
it's got-
drawn
I mean,
Fast and
I'm
Furious
telling no, it's got to be
thing.
cars and motorcycles, and we have a Blue Thunder ice helicopter chase, a Black Hawk helicopter chase going down underneath the bridges, like in Blue
Welcome
Thunder.
to
they have
elementary
real
school,
helicopters.
everybody.
And it's liberating all the families. I mean, come on, I'm in. I could write this
That
tomorrow.
seems more expensive than 200 million.
Yeah, that might be blowing the budget out of proportion a little bit at that point. That might not get through the door.
Can you imagine the soundtrack though? You could get You could have the most incredible world soundtrack.
Just do Bad
ever.
Bunny do the whole soundtrack and you're good. It's a
It'd
little
be
fun.
awesome.
By the way, side note, just because you mentioned
Does
it,
Cheech and Chong make a cameo for no reason? It'd be great.
I don't know if you saw this,
Well, they live in LA.
but the Canadian police, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, they did this thing. I loved it. I don't know if some of you saw this. They put on these flak vests,
Blacko.
and they look just like ice vests, but they put an N at the front and it says nice. And they took pictures of them in the different ethnic communities around Toronto, whatever, playing basketball with everybody and stuff like that. And it's like the fundamental difference between Canadian culture and American culture, right?
I mean,
there.
it would be like Red Dawn, except the American troops are the Russians, and Red Dawn meets the Fast and the Furious. You know, so you've got a post-apocalyptic war in the streets of LA,
Nice.
and you could get Chuck Norris to be in it too.
But again, back to the actual topic. Do you think at this point, I mean, this is an interesting update for you, do you think this movie's going to happen?
You know what? At the end of the day, I do. Only because you have 10 films, 11 if you include Hobbs and Shaw. So this would actually be the 12th Fast and the Furious movie. It's a viable franchise that overall has done quite well for the studio. And if they do come up with a a measly $200 million budgeted film that has a great script, that is a lot of fun, that kind of brings it back to earth, so to speak. And you have, I mean, look, go back to practical stunts. No more CG. That's what people want. And utilize the new camera technologies that they have. I mean, you could do something kick-ass.
By the way, one of our viewers has cracked the code. They've cracked the code. I mean, he simply said, I'll elaborate on it, but Bixie says, we need time travel too. Here it is. Remember I said, have they gone too far gone? Here's what it is. In Fast 11, they run into a new, bigger, most dangerous, most deadly villain yet. And you find out that he was a good kid once, but his dad had promised him a DVD player for Christmas, and he never got it, and that set him on a path of villainy. Now, Dom and the family must travel back in time to the original Fast and Furious, and without letting themselves see themselves, prevent the DVD heist so that the future can be saved.
And you know,
there it is.
It's a universal.
You're welcome, Universal.
It's a universal movie. So, like with Ready Player One, they can use the DeLorean.
At 88.
And they'll call
90.
it Fast 11 Endgame. There you go.
And actually, it's the 13th film, Rob, because Tokyo Drift is not. I actually forgot that's where Too Fast, Too whatever came from. That
that was the second one.
Too Fast, Too Furious. But Tokyo Drift was actually the third one.
Yeah, and you know who was introduced in Tokyo Drift?
Who?
Sun Kang,
Dang.
Han Solo, the greatest character known to man.
We've gone way too long on
we've
this
given
issue
way too
topic.
much.
We must move on. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? A Universal executive saying, I think we've got it worked out. Like, I think we've got it here. What does that mean exactly? He's not the executive that greenlights movies. He's the one that markets them. But still, do you think this movie's going to happen here? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.